Children, and welcome to today's collective worship. And just as I'm sharing my screen with you, I'm going to start today by saying, this is the day that the Lord has made. Okay, so it was wonderful being able to share that greeting with you on Friday. But I unfortunately can't be there on a Monday morning. So I've asked all the grown-ups to share collective worship with you like this at the moment. So today we are going to be thinking about a story from the Bible, and I'm going to explain why we're thinking about this story after I've shared it with you. Now, some of you will know this story really well, and I would expect you to. But some of you might have forgotten, because over the last 2 years, we haven't talked much about something very important. And you'll find out what that is in a minute. So this is the story of feeding the 5,000 people. So wherever Jesus went, big crowds followed him. Jesus and his disciples went across the lake on a boat. But when they got to the other side, another crowd was waiting, wanting to hear Jesus speak. Jesus felt sorry for them, and so he began to teach them and talk to them about God. It started to get late, and the crowd started feeling tired, and some of them were thirsty and started to feel hungry. Jesus told the disciples that they could give the crowd food. But as you can see from the picture, there were a lot of people. There were probably about 5,000. Might not look like that in that picture, but there were 5,000 people. Unfortunately, there just wasn't enough food to go around. There was a boy in the crowd who had brought his own food, which was a bit unusual, but as you can see, he had some food. Inside his basket, there were 5 loaves of bread. And those of you that can see the picture can count 5 loaves and 2 fish. How is that going to feed 5,000 people? Jesus had the crowd sitting in groups of 50 and 100. So he decided to split them into groups. There were far too many to sort out, so he put them into groups that were more easily managed. And as you can see, they've all been split up. Jesus took the loaves and he gave thanks to God. He broke the bread and gave them to his disciples. As the disciples handed out the bread, it multiplied and made more bread. It was as if magic had happened. It was like a miracle. The bread just spread around all those people. And the same thing happened with the fish. It was able to be shared amongst all those people. The crowds were amazed. They were fascinated. They couldn't believe what Jesus had done. And they said, this man, he must be the Son of God. So that's the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. And we use that story at Lympsham to help us understand something very important. And hopefully, showing you this picture will remind you of something very important. Now, some of our younger children won't know what this is. They won't know what it means because we haven't talked about it for a couple of years, actually. But that heart is very symbolic at our school because inside it are some special words. And those words actually spell out something. But I'm going to show you that in a minute. Our vision is we are a Christian community with children at its heart. Now, some of you might be sat there and thinking, well, what's a vision? Why does a school have to have a vision? But a vision is very important because it's like a goal. It's like a goal that we're all working towards. And every single one of us in the school is working towards that goal. And being part of our community is very important because you children are at the very heart. You're right in the middle of it. And as you can see, this is Lympsham's vision, but also our Christian values. And the values inside the heart are hope, enjoyment, aspiration, respect, and thankful. And that is what we talk to you a lot about trying to be hopeful, to enjoy school, to have high hopes. If you aspire, it means you have high hopes, to respect one another and to be thankful for everything we have around us. But you might like to just think, where have I seen this before? And some of you might say, I know where I've seen it. I'm not going to tell you, but you need to tell the grown-ups where you've seen it. And Mrs. Addis was instrumental in making that happen because she was the person who put all of this together somewhere important, but you need to find out where that is. So the reason why we have chosen the Bible story, which is feeding the 5,000, it comes from the Gospel of John, and that is found in our Bible. All of you have seen the Bible. We have one in the hall. You should have one in your classes. And what Jesus did, he took the lunch of a very small boy, multiplied it thousands of times, and he fed all those 5,000 people. And what we're noticing through this Bible story and why we chose it is because Jesus notices our talents. He notices what we are good at. He notices our time and our gifts. And when you look at everything that we do within our community and you multiply them, it makes a big difference in our community. And that is how we think about Jesus. We think about that story from the Bible. We think about all of us. There's lots and lots of us in our school community, not quite 5,000 maybe, but with all our families and friends, there's a lot of people. And Jesus notices everything that we are all trying to achieve. Now, our school values actually spell a very important word in the middle of our Christian vision. It spells the word heart. And as you can see, our values have been fitted in to the shape of a heart. And that's why they're so important, because you, children, are at the heart of everything we do at school. You're very important, very important. And if we explain how this fits with our story from the Bible of Jesus feeding the 5,000, I'm going to explain that now. So H, the red word in the heart, is about the crowds who were living in hope because they were desperate to see Jesus. E is for enjoyment. That's the purple word. And Jesus, when he breaks the bread, sees that the crowds are all happy because they were hungry and they needed something to eat and they really enjoyed the food. The A, the yellowy orange shape, is for aspiration. And the crowds have great faith and belief in Jesus. They believe in everything he does. R is for respect. And Jesus and the crowd showing respect for the young boy's kindness. He was very kind to share his food. If it hadn't have been for that little boy, they wouldn't have had all that food. And T is for thankful. The crowds are thankful to the Son of God. And when we look at all those words, I should have said to you, respect was blue and thankful is green. But when we look at all those words, we should all think to ourselves, we've got to believe in ourselves. We must believe in all the brilliant things we're good at. And also, we should respect the fact that we should all look after and be thankful to one another. So there's some very important messages in our vision. And I hope that you've enjoyed. There's my dogs. There's my dogs. And just at an important point, Mrs. Robertson's about to share something else that's really important with you. And I'm sorry about that. My dogs do like to bark right at the wrong time. But this is something else that is very important, and you will see around our school, which is our school promise. And at Lympsham, we make a promise to everybody that we want to have hope, enjoyment, aspiration, respect, and to be thankful for everything we have in our school. And as you can see from the picture at the top, it shows our vision, which says we are a Christian community with children at its heart. Now we're going to finish our collective worship with a prayer. So I'd like you all to just put your hands together and think about what we've just been talking about. Dear God, help us to feel part of our Christian community and the values we uphold. Help us to find a love of learning and to become respectful, confident, independent and creative learners. Help us to achieve all our goals within a safe, nurturing and fulfilling environment. Amen. Okay. So, you've had to listen to quite a lot of information there, and this is something that we'll come back to because it's not something that you'll just remember straight away. So the most important thing is to think, what is our Christian vision in our school? It is, we are a Christian community with children at its heart. And if you can try and remember those values, that would be amazing, and really try hard. Now it's the start of a new week. I hope you all have a lovely day and a brilliant week, and hopefully I will see you all very soon. Thank you for listening and see you all soon. Bye, children. Bye.